All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Kickn'it MLS. This is week 3 that we're covering, right? Covering up with week 3.
I think
Finishing up with
technically,
that.
according to MLS, it's like a
It's week
weird.
4.
Yeah, it's week 4. It's
Yeah,
weird.
but I'm not counting it as week 4 because we only had 2 games, so we'll count it as
Yeah.
week 3. But interesting week for us because man, we I think across the league itself, it's been kind of interesting. But we'll kick it off with the NYCFC Portland game, and this game was a little interesting because I don't think that what we predicted it would have happened. But Jose, do you wanna let him know?
John, okay, look, everybody who needs context for this, like at the end of the day, we made a lot of predictions for last week, some bold ones on I've heard multiple shows talk about this too. This man thought the game was won at 13 minutes in when NYCFC scored. I will say this: NYCFC did bottle hard as it possibly can. I know Evander's goal was insane, but past that, I'm just convinced you lost in the game. NYCFC fans should be furious with John Rivera, bro. Like at the end of the day, we were in DMs, we're talking about the game. I had no idea. I was watching a little bit. I was also trying to watch the other game that was on and do some other stuff. It's a weekend, and I'm like, okay, cool. NYC's playing well. They're doing well. John had already called that they were going to win this game, and before you fucking know it, right? They out of nowhere in the 80th minute or 83rd minute, I think it was. They get the first goal. I'm like, all right, you know what? A point's not a terrible result considering what we predicted. And then just to put the fucking nail in the coffin, Evander shits on our predictions. And it started off the worst MLS week we've had in this very, very young part of the season, bro. Everybody tip your hat to John Rivera. Give him a clap, whatever you want to do, bro. He crushed that prediction.
Listen. I'm just gonna say this. I was about right, for the whole 80th minute. It's not my fault that New York can't defend. All right, we've seen their struggles. Also, I've watched New York play at home before. Like this is not the first time, but I think in recent memory, from what I remember, I don't remember that pitch being that narrow. I don't know if it was just me or if like that, but that pitch is incredibly narrow. It's
I think
hard
it was
to really
I think it was the
operate.
camera angle. I think
Yeah, it
personally.
might have been.
Yeah, it looked narrow in certain parts, but I think there were also parts where like, damn, they got a lot of space on that side, or maybe that was just because of how narrow the field looked. First half was all New York for those who tuned in. It was all New York. I thought we had made a great prediction lining up with Vegas, bro. Second half, I wouldn't say it's even the Evander goal that they bottled, right, or couldn't defend. It was the whole second half. The whole second half just felt like they were complacent, like they stopped trying. And I don't know, man. I mean, the ref kind of got carried away with some things here and there, but bro, I don't know what happened. I don't know if this is like Cushing's like effect as a manager. I questioned the appointment to an extent when it happened. Now, man, I don't know. I feel like they're better than this. They have to be. They have to be.
I don't feel like they've shown as to be as well as we. I don't even want to say well because I feel like
bro, on paper it's a decent team.
Yeah, it's a decent team for the league. If we got teams like Montreal, which we'll talk about in a little bit, cooking up right now, like it's just it's interesting. But Honda, how did you?
We also have the Quakes and other teams like that in this league too, right? So let's remember that everything tends to balance itself out in MLS.
That is true.
I don't know. On paper, like you guys are seeing a totally different team than I am then, because I just think they're a bunch of rubbish names, right? Sands, he was at Benfica, okay, yeah, but
Sands is good. Don't disrespect Sands like that.
Sands he comes over here, right? He started off well. He started off well for New York, but then they're bringing in players that we don't know about, really, right?
They bring that Wonder Kid in.
Yeah, but it's City Football Group, bro. They're like the kings of this. People were
saying the same thing about Girona
in La Liga like a year ago. And now look at Girona in La Liga, bro. They're like literally competing with Real Madrid for the title. And they're slipping up a little bit now because they're a smaller club. But like, I don't know, man. I think we don't have to all follow every single name on a roster. I think the roster was decently put together. I won't hear any James Sands slander, though. He wasn't even playing in this game. I think had he been playing, it would have been different. Stupid fucking red card in week 2 or the previous week, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I think he is someone that does control a lot of the tempo for that team. But they still played decently well without him. It was just they lost the plot in the second half. And maybe that's because, like Honda already alluded to, the lack of experience with some of these names that we just don't recognize with NYCFC. That could be it. But I would say even past that, they do have some ballers on that team. They couldn't put it all together for the full 90 for this one.
They need to gel together. They need to gel together before that, and then they need to bring some. City needs to bring some money into that team, man. Because honestly, Talis Magno and Inshallah, yeah, you're not gonna rely on that for the whole season.
Yeah, Connor, you got any comments to add to either NYC or Portland?
I think that my little rant about baseball stadium merchants, NYCFC, I think that they proved me right a little bit, keeping that 1-0. And then, they decided to throw it all away with that, conceding the 2 goals to Portland. But I guess that's why I'm wearing the Portland kit this week. I do trust what Portland's doing. I think they might cook this season.
I think it's part of the thing that we're kind of like missing out here as we're talking about both of these teams is Portland. I don't think our prediction on Neville was that far off. I mean, at least not mine.
It's not Neville. That's the thing.
You don't think it's Neville?
I don't think so. I think Portland's always been a good team. I think you look at last season and you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, right? Like, keep in mind, Portland are a championship caliber team. They've won MLS Cup in recent history, and they have multiple titles. So it's like, I don't underestimate either of the Pac Northwest teams. With Portland, I think things were weird last season. A lot of different vibes up there. They had to make a managerial change.
One game away, and they were there.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's what they started off terribly. Outside of Sporting Kansas City, they might have had one of the worst starts in the West. And they clawed their way back into playoff relevancy as the season closed. But even before last season, right, they're a pretty damn good team year in and year out. I think a lot of fans underestimated them because recency bias is undefeated.
And they're bringing in players like Avesita and who's the other guy from Monterrey?
Oh, they just signed him,
yeah. So they're bringing in firepower. Like, they're gonna be they're even better than they have been offensively. I've been really impressed with Anthony, their other player that they got too.
I mean,
he's been looking kind of decent.
He looks good. Yeah. He looks
so
good.
I'm telling. We were saying this the other week. Like, he looks like the better Anthony out there, not the one that's in Manchester right now. He might have to.
He might be, bro. He might be. That's not a high bar he set out there in Manchester. But yeah, bro. I think someone has talked about him being like the next young star in this league. I kind of think so. You give him more time. We're 3 weeks in, right? But give him a little more time to keep doing what he's doing. But if playoff comes around and Portland's in that top 4 spot, top 5 spot in the West, I think, and he's like the front runner, I think we have to start looking at putting him in that conversation.
Yeah. So I mean, I like I said, I didn't expect this result, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, Portland is also a good team, so I'm not shocked by it. But going on to our, the game that I thought was going to be a snooze fest. Toronto versus who they play? I forget.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
But
Charlotte.
Go ahead.
Again, Charlotte is like one of those teams where we called it. I've called it for a while. Dean Smith is not going to be the answer to fix them this year. I feel like they have some things to kind of work on.
This is not the game to judge that.
No, I know. But I'm saying Dean Smith isn't going to be the end all be all. But I guess, Jose, your thoughts on Toronto?
I think Dean Smith's going to get slighted all year. It's kind of crazy. He's going to get slighted every chance. This man, it's a lose-lose situation for him. Every time a team beats him in this league, fans are going to be chanting that Dean Smith is overrated because he came from Europe, and this should be a relatively easy league in comparison to that. I'm thinking about guys like John, guys like Xiaoyan of Rave Green TV, those guys. But past that, I think Charlotte didn't play poorly when I went back and watched a good chunk of this game. I think Herdman's men are still developing. I want to be realistic about Toronto. I think this was a good game for them, but let's be real. It was a moment of individual brilliance again for the second time now this season that they've won this game. Considering where they started off in 2023, I think even Toronto fans are being a little bit hesitant to say that, oh, we're back. I think, it's like, okay, maybe we're better than we thought we were. And that's still a good place to be in, right, in the league. And especially for John Herdman, there was zero pressure on him coming into this because of how bad this team was last season. But Insigne, man, I mean, it's kind of crazy that it took the former Canadian national team manager to come over to unlock European Napoli Insigne, right? Like that version of him, because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing individual brilliance from a man that we've been waiting to see this from in this league. And I'm not going to start screaming Giovinco, but I think at the end of the day, like, if he keeps doing this, man, he's going to be the face of this team in a really big way. And I don't know, Toronto might find a way to do what, not takes with a grain of salt. I had the comparison to like Barcelona in Spain because of they won La Liga with I don't know how many 1-0 victories last season. I think Toronto can try and almost look at that a little, be very, very fundamentally sound as a team, work their ass off, have work rates everywhere that are fantastic across each player. Everybody bought into one identity and one system, and you have a player that takes you over the top in Insigne. And Bernardeschi, whenever we start seeing his flashes of brilliance too. So it was good. It was a good game, but I that's what I think it was. I don't know if it was Toronto just flat out outclassing Charlotte.
All I'm gonna say is I called it. From
Bro, you
last
called a
week.
goal. No one saw
Listen,
Insigne's
no,
goal
I didn't
coming,
call.
bro.
I didn't call a goal. I called Insigne. I said Insigne come out party.
This is not a coming out party. He scored once. They won
He
1-0.
scored
one,
Coming
he
out
scored
party,
last
a fucking
week.
hat
He
trick
scored-
that gets scored.
He scored last week.
No,
You said that last week.
no,
That was his
no.
come out party.
listen,
This
listen,
one-
listen.
Connor,
Listen,
you want
this
to get
one-
the receipts
I
on
didn't-
that?
I didn't.
Yeah, you predicted a draw, buddy. So I know what you're talking about.
Listen. For me, this is what it is. I think Insigne is finally like. I think he's comfortable. I think he's getting comfortable. He's getting adjusted. And that adjustment period, like, I think with a grain of salt, with it being MLS, I feel like we give a lot of people slack for not adapting quick enough. When they come over from Europe, and I think that's one of the things where, whenever we see any player go to any other European club, we're always like, oh, it's his first season. They're trying to adapt this and that. So we're very patient on that end. When it comes to MLS, very cutthroat. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the league. You have to come in and you have to adjust right away. He's one of the players that has struggled last season to adjust, but this season it seems like he's finding his feet. I think Toronto is looking a lot better under their new manager. I feel like there's some structure there. I feel like last season there wasn't much structure, if at any, which is why they got last, I feel like. But at the end of the day, I feel like this game was more or less what, like I said, it was for me going to be a snooze fest. I'm surprised that Charlotte wasn't able to get a goal out of it and draw it out. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm not too upset with the result or nor shocked by it, if that makes sense. So, Honda, do you have anything else for this game?
What I did like, or what I'm liking, is the resurgence of their goalkeeper, Sean Johnson. Like, he was atrocious last year, and this season he's one of those key pieces for the reason why they're not getting scored on. So you got to take a look at that.
Was he coming off an injury last year though?
He was coming off an injury last year, but at the same time, I mean, you kind of
Crepeau broke his leg, so you know what?
Yeah, but Crepeau also looked a little bit of rusty coming back from those. For I don't know how many. It might have been like maybe a month or two. There was a reason why he had lost his spot for a little while. I think you got to give, especially keepers, man, because there's such few rotation there. You got to give them like a little bit of time, especially with Johnson. Johnson's a good keeper. Like we knew that prior to the injury.
Well, he won MLS Cup with New York, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man,
he's a good keeper.
Castellanos were the main reasons why.
Yeah.
But it's true. He definitely, he's looking sharper to kick off 2024.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Toronto. There's not. I don't want to say too much about him now, as I feel like it's a little early. But I feel like eventually, as the season goes on, they'll be one of the people contending in the East. Obviously, we know that there's a clear favorite for that. But I'm gonna move on to a team that should be a contender in the East, but is not and is struggling and shockingly struggling. Orlando versus Minnesota. And Connor, I know that you're gonna hate talking about this, but you were there. You were at the stadium. So tell us how you kind of saw that game and how you experienced it, more or less.
It's okay to cry, by the way. It's okay to cry.
No, I'm gonna wait till Tuesday for that. So, I'm coming to this game, and I came off of taking a long nap, so I got to the game, and so I'm kind of hungry. They had a nice little German restaurant at the game, so I grabbed some food beforehand. I get to my seat, the game starts, and I'm munching on a pretzel. 13 seconds in, Duncan McGuire scores a goal. I'm just like, huh? Wait, where did that come from? Like
the quickest goal in history,
like,
no?
Tied
in our history, yes. I think he beat Tesho by like 20-something seconds.
He beat both Tesho's goals. Tesho has the two fastest in Orlando's history.
Yeah, which is I used to hate on that man so much.
Hey, bro, he's FC Dallas, so I can't hate on that man, bro.
He's FC
Dallas, and I played against him in college a little bit. Yeah, bro, Tesho's nuts.
No, he was a good player.
Yeah.
But then I'm still munching on my pretzel. Minnesota then score 3 minutes later. I'm still munching on this pretzel. I see it happen. I'm just like, just let me finish my food, man. And then I would say, 10 minutes goes by. They score again, and at this point, I'm thinking, I'm very worried about Pedro Galese because this is back-to-back weeks that his save percentage is looking really bad. Last week, I think they only had 1 shot on target that didn't go in, Miami. Like, they had 6 shots on target. 5 of them went in. This time, they had, 4 shots on target, 5 shots on target. 3 of them went in. That's very bad, goalkeeping-wise. And
from a goalkeeper that you had also said that was very, very good, and I remember a few years ago you were raving about how he was so much better than Gaga and this and that.
And yeah, he was. I don't remember Gaga taking the U.S. to a cup final against Brazil last time I checked. So call me back when he does that. And really,
but you know what? He might be the Tim Howard according to John. So he might flat out beat Tim Howard.
I said he would be better.
My bad. He said he'd be better.
World Cup saves record when?
Yeah. Wait, 2022.
Yeah, he does. Tim Howard does have a World Cup.
Listen. The way that USMNT goalkeeper spot is going, I don't think anyone has a spot locked up. So it's anyone's game, to be honest.
Fair. Back to the point, though. When did you realize this game was completely fucked? Like from an Orlando fan.
Yeah.
I realized it was fucked after Felipe Martins missed the chance 5 yards out in front of the goal.
I remember that. That's why I'm laughing.
Shinned it. I was there. I looked at it. I'm just like,
bro, he's a dog though. Felipe Martins is a dog. Like I would take him in the midfield 100%.
Nah, he's great. It's just when he missed that chance, I was like, nah, we're drawing this game. I didn't even know we would lose. In the second half, I actually had to leave early because there was an emergency that happened, with my family. So we had to go back home. And we were listening to on the radio, and all I hear on the radio was, oh, and Duncan Maguire, how did he miss that? That's got to be worth 0.9 expected goals right there. And I'm just like, how are we doing this, man? How are we,
Listen, I'm going to bring up expected goals in a few minutes here.
Please. I actually haven't checked that stat yet on the Orlando game, but all I know is I sat there, I saw Maguire's goal. It was an absolute beauty. He's really going to be fighting with Muriel for that spot, by the way. He's not letting Muriel just take that spot from him. He's fighting, which I really like from him. And that goal, and it's him again. It's Rodrigo Schlegel. You watch the goal. He's there again. He's backing off him. He's keeping 2 guys on side. He's not making a tackle. He doesn't know what he's doing. And then they get through on goal, and then they score. In the 96th minute of the game. 96th minute, you got to be focused. I mean, you're trying to secure a late result.
And to piggyback off that point, there was a lot of clubs this week that ended up losing games, drawing games based on the 90th minute. All these added times, there was a lot of teams that really choked it at the end, and it could have went either way. But
Chicago,
we'll get to that. But we weren't the only team. There was a lot of stoppage times goals in this week, which that's why I feel like it's been a little bit weird of a week.
Yeah,
because I think that a lot of these games could have gone either way. But I will say this: I think that a lot of people underestimated what Minnesota had to bring for this season. I feel like even we kind of said it. I did not expect much from Minnesota this season, being that they didn't really have any players that you would say they're out that shoot off the board when you see it in the starting lineup. They didn't have a manager going into the season, so I feel like we all predicted that they were going to do way worse than what they have. The fact that they came out of these couple weeks with a draw to Columbus, a win at Orlando. And I think did they lose their last game? With a win in Austin.
They're undefeated. That's why I felt like going into this week, I don't think it was right to write them off. I mean, I will say a lot of people did, John included, and I you guys wrote them off the way that you wrote Montreal off, which we'll talk about Montreal. I got a whole bit lined up for that one. But
me too.
That's what I'm saying. It's the beauty of this league, man. I think you could take what happened last year with a grain of salt always, because I don't know, man. Teams can just in 1 year flip it. That's how crazy this league is. That's why it's a betting nightmare. No one should just take anything for granted. Look how every result went. I'm still pressed to find a predictions video that I watched where they got the majority of the predictions right. If anyone has one in the comments, please link it. I'm down to watch, but I haven't seen one that they got the majority of week 3 predictions right. It was just, it's MLS, bro. The most MLS week of all time.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the things. Like, this league is so unpredictable at times because the weeks where you would say, "Oh, that's a for sure win for that team." Again, another one that we said for Miami, we did not expect for them to rest all their starters like they did. They really rested Messi and Suarez, but we'll get to that point. But now to the other team and to your rivals, Atlanta. Atlanta smacked around the Revs, and I'm over here relishing in this because I think my point is coming true.
Can I actually pull this quote back from the last segment really quickly?
Yeah.
There's a quote here. Pookie put in an interview saying, "To be honest, I'm not really sure if we deserved it today. They had many chances, but in the end, the result is the only thing that matters." He recognized it too.
He recognized you guys are bottlers, bro. He's like, you know what? I'm not worried. What did Mourinho say that one time? That one quote, he was like, "Sure, they can play to play. We'll play to win. Like if they want to keep the ball and do whatever they want, sure, we'll play to win the game. When we get our chances, we'll take them." I think that's what happened. And in Minnesota, 7 points out of the first 3 games. Very few teams have done that. I feel like there's a lot of teams that finished below the playoff line in 2023 that we're going to be saying that exact same thing about in 2024.
And again, another team that finished they finished below the playoff line because New England didn't make it last year, right?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they did.
They're the opposite. Well, like they were a good team last year, and they're.
Oh yeah, they had the fall off, right? But again, I had said it in our.
We said fall off, but they finished 5th. They didn't like crazy.
But in comparison to where they were after the Bruce Arena stuff, and
they're from 2nd to 5th.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a step back, but
yeah.
Again, I think what I was trying to make at the beginning of the season, the point I was trying to make was that I didn't think that they were going to be able to come out of that, and I think that's coming true a little bit. Not to say that their manager might not be the right person, because I feel like he still could figure it out. But this New England side is looking terrible. I don't know how you guys see it. They're not looking like New England of old, like the New England that we're used to. This is a brand new team. I do not recognize this New England team. I think I'm glad because they are our rivals and everything, but at the same time, I don't think that you should also be that ashamed to get smacked around against Atlanta, because Atlanta is a very good team, especially at home. Their home crowd that they had there, was it almost 70,000 that they had this past weekend? So the crowd plays into a factor. Also, that field is not the greatest. But I feel like Gakumakis also showed as to why he's probably the best striker in the league alongside Cucho. But he showed it this week. I mean, hell of a week for him.
I think we can wait on that best striker in the league. I will say this: he's probably the front runner for the Golden Boot, and to me, Golden Boot and best striker in the league are not the same thing. I think you can point at a number of teams who have very good strikers this season, your team included, John, who we have yet to even really see what they can do. So I'm going to say right now he's probably the front runner for the Golden Boot, and we'll see how that all works out. That is also contingent upon Thiago Almada staying. I think right now, if I'm Giakoumakis, bro, you rack up the goal tally as high as you can fucking rack it up, because there's a good chance the guy who's giving you everything right now in the midfield is going to be gone come summer, right?
Yeah,
so there's that aspect of it all too. But I will say this to combat what John said about the Revs. It's not like the Revs aren't getting chances. They're getting chances. They had 14 shots in that game against Atlanta. They're getting chances, right? 5 of them being on target is massive. None of those 5 shots on target were big chances. That's massive. Vrioni needs to step the hell up, bro. Like that, or move on. Like I think New England's at a point now where he's been there for a little bit, and you kind of know what he can do and what he can bring you. I think if you want to be relevant in a very difficult Eastern Conference in 2024, you gotta have something that's more reliable up front. I don't even want to say consistent, because they haven't even gotten to that point yet. Like, we just need something, and then a little bit more and a little bit more. Right now, Vrioni, after getting a red card to open up the season, hasn't done anything since, and it's just like, yeah, man. I mean, even the number of passes, they were more efficient and effective passing than Atlanta.
But it just feels like
better use of it.
It just feels like they're Carlos Gil dependent, if that makes sense. Like if they go as Carlos Gil goes, and
only because Vrioni's not scoring. If he was scoring, we would say, oh, they're just relying upon Vrioni. I think it's because it's just the best player, and every team is usually relying upon their best player.
That's fair. Honda, you got. I feel like you needed to add. You wanted to add something on there.
Listen, I'm gonna quote my favorite content creator, Xiaoyan.
Yeah.
Has a massive schlong. There you go.
Wait, say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Yakumakis has a massive schlong.
Oh, he does, bro. He does. He does. I'll say this right now, man. The guy is huge. He is just slapping people in the face with it. I think, bro. I think Yakumakis is bro. He's like that left-footed volley. Every time I see it, I'm just like, that's what this guy can do. Like even on his bad days, if he gets good service, and it wasn't even just Almada. There was dude. I saw Dax McCarty making runs in this game too. You know, breaking lines from the middle of the field, like. In his old age,
But Dax has always been that consistent player in this league.
He
Dax
is, but he's also good. What 32, 33? Yeah. Like it's just one of those things where I was pleasantly surprised to see that he still got the juice in the legs, that he's and not just being effective with the breaking of the lines, but he'll find his man. He'll make the right decision, the right pass. So Atlanta's good, but let's be real about the Revs. Atlanta was simply more efficient with their chances. Revs created some opportunities, but just don't have anybody to take them. They're like
night and day shift, right, man. It's complete night and day shift between the strikers, between the teams. It's just
not fluid. It's not fluid at all.
Yeah, it's just they're struggling a lot. But I hope they don't figure it out though.
And bro, the John Hader
statement. Not jinx John.
There.
Listen, because we're gonna be heading on to my team and Columbus against Chicago. And
Columbus W.
Columbus W, based on the fact that we don't know how to defend in the last couple minutes because it's happened to us multiple times. It's not the first time this season. It won't be the last. I've said this multiple times. If we cannot figure out how to consistently defend in the last minutes while we have a lead or we're holding on to a draw, we're not going to be able to accumulate points, and that's our biggest problem. I think that the team looked a little bit better, and I feel like at times we were attacking and we looked a little bit dangerous in certain situations, but Columbus is Columbus and they're going to find a way to make it happen. The subs that Nancy brought in for this game actually impacted the team a lot, and it benefited them and obviously eventually got them the win. The fact that they called an offside goal, they really had 2 goals, but they added 12 minutes at the end of the game. Like, what are you really going to do? You know, it's a lot of time to try to hold on, especially when our coach decides to make late subs. And I think I saw it a little bit more when Chris Mueller came onto the pitch. Like the decision making was just a little bit more there. And Connor, I know you don't really like him, but the decision making is a little bit more there. It's a little bit more fluid. Again, Shaqiri is there's something always lacking with him. I don't know what it is, and I can't figure out why, but there's something always missing with him. So the fact that, again, I feel like we're not getting Kuipers enough service at all is going to end up hindering us at this season because if he has 1 or 2 chances, I'm sure he'll put it away. But we need to get his confidence going. We need to get him at least an easy tap in, some sort of goal to get his confidence going again, and then we'll figure it out. But I feel like we're struggling a lot. But I feel like a lot of teams are also going to struggle against this Columbus team because they're a very deep roster and they have a lot of depth. So you guys need to add on anything to this? Because
Chicago did better than I thought. Chicago did better than I thought, and then most people thought because they thought they were going to go into Columbus, they were going to get smacked up again. And Herbert scored the first goal in 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, right? First Chicago and Columbus as well.
Lower.com feel, yeah.
That's not bad at all. Like, at least you guys are
Chicago were good this game. I would say not bad. Like they were actually good. I mean, look, I know XG's XG. We based it off of that.
We beat them on XG.
That's what I'm saying. You beat them on XG. You had double-digit shots, which means you had opportunities. Look, Wilfred Nancy is Wilfred Nancy. I think to say that Chicago bottled this lead because it happened to the minute that it happened in, I don't believe in that. Me personally, I think that's the beauty of football, and you could choose to look at it as like, oh, we didn't defend. But in my opinion, that's just the difference between a team like the Fire, who are still kind of exiting or maybe in the middle of a rebuilding period where they're trying to figure out the pieces, versus Columbus being a championship caliber squad. And when you look at those two teams next to each other, it's 1, impressive that you guys were close, but 2, that's the difference, right? It's like they don't necessarily have to play the right way, but because of the level that they know they can get to, if they need to turn it on, they can. And that happens a lot, not just in MLS, but all over, right? So I think that was the difference. If you guys had found a way to maybe convert another opportunity earlier in the game, or even just put a little bit more pressure on them when it was late in the game, I guess you could nitpick there, but I won't say that Chicago had a bad day. It's just Columbus are a really good team, and Nancy's a championship caliber coach.
And then, again, part of me also like that's the thing that I'm struggling with as a fan of this team, because it's painful to see some of these opportunities get missed. Like I think there was one decision that was made for a ball that was passed to Kuipers instead of Mueller, and that was Shaqiri's decision. I get that you want to feature striker, but Kuipers was also Mueller was in a better position, and he probably would have ended up finishing that goal had he had passed him the ball, because it was a 2v1. He just chose the wrong option. And yeah, it's funny to you, but I still believe that Chris Mueller is a very good player, despite you hating on him as much as you do. Dude, at the time, like, there's things that Chris Mueller has done that I'm yet to see from some of these players at this club. So until I'm proven wrong, and I get that he's coming out of an ACL injury and he's slowly coming back, he's getting a little bit more minutes. Hopefully he's back in the starting lineup. I think that Haile Selassie is going through a little bit of a struggle right now. I think that he needs to figure it out. I really want to see Guti back in the middle. I really struggle to see Shaqiri in that 10 role when I know that Guti plays a better 10.
Because Shaqiri's ass, bro. He's trash. I'm gonna say this: when Chicago signed him and made him the highest paid DP in the league, I thought it was a massive throwaway of cash. And the biggest reason is because he has never been that guy in his entire career. Ever.
No.
He has only ever been a supplemental piece to an already good team. A guy to come off the bench, kind of a Swiss Army knife, could play a cam, could play out wide, but for the most part, he offers a dynamic factor to what you're trying to do on the pitch. He is not the playmaker, not the tempo setter, doesn't do any of that. People just think he can because they use him in fucking FIFA or EA Sports or whatever, bro. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it is. He's not that guy.
5-star skills.
Yeah, and Chicago fans need to realize that, like, you have a very expensive, mediocre player in your team.
What we need to do in the summer is we need to bring in a creator. We need to bring in a creator, because that's our biggest struggle. If we bring in someone that can create, I think we're set, and I think that we got things to run with. Again, maybe my take on Chicago being fourth was a little bit optimistic at the time. Now looking back at it, we need a better creative player. So until we get
we're
that,
3 weeks in and John's already backpedaled, bro. That's
dude, I have to.
Yeah,
This team it's again, it pains me to say it, but we need to figure it out, and I don't know when we're gonna figure it out, but hopefully soon.
I think you have the personnel to make one adjustment. Here's if I'm looking back at the game tape, and this is the adjustment that I would make if I was Klopas, trying to get something out of what you guys have right now. A lot of games you don't dominate possession, but what's crazy is that Chicago Fire have, in the first 3 games this season, 6 to 7 of the first 8 to 10 minutes of the ball in every game. The first 10 minutes, you guys tend to dominate it for whatever reason.
Yeah, for sure.
If you score in that opening 10 minutes in one of these games, and you make that a high priority, to high pressure the shit out of the team, to keep the ball, to collapse every midfielder into the box on every opportunity, you guys might get a goal that just allows you to set the tempo of the game and not play from behind, right? So I don't know. That's what I've noticed just watching it. Like, you guys, for whatever reason, after that, there's like a little bit of a drop off. You've played some good teams, so maybe it's just you conceding possession and trying to soak it up in terms of pressure. But you guys get a good amount of the ball in the first 10 minutes. I would start using that.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we can build off of. But now going on to your team.
Yeah.
The Red Bulls against Dallas.
Haven't won there since 06, and the trend continues.
Just a little bit painful for you, but
I feel like every team has that, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
you can't beat that one team.
It is what it is, man. I think with Dallas, it's like so there's a couple things at play. And look, I was pissed on Saturday night, and it is what it is. I'm more pissed because some of the pieces that we're trying to integrate could not be integrated in the preseason. So right now, FC Dallas looks like a preseason team. If I'm being honest, like, that's how we look. We look out of form, but we're not finding each other, even though the passes and the touches are solid. People are kind of like a little bit frustrated with the fact that the chemistry just feels off, at least up front. And the whole Red Bulls thing. I mean, Red Bulls don't really. I don't believe there's any kind of like rivalry or anything there, really. It's just that, yeah, we can't seem to win at Red Bull Arena. Like, we just can't do it. I don't know what it is. This game was a monsoon. It was tough to watch, honestly, if you were a neutral. It was just pouring down rain, a lot of long ball. Both teams were kind of just felt like they were just kind of chasing the game a little bit on both sides. Red Bulls had more opportunities for sure. There was a great piece of individual skill from Ferreira scoring that free kick. But, outside of that, the penalty, I will say this about the PK. The PK was baby shit soft, bro. Baby shit. I'm a new dad. It was baby shit soft, bro. Like, I honestly, like, Tomasi needs to do better there, right? Don't even give them an excuse. Don't brush his arm. Don't do anything. But, bro, all he ever wanted was the contact. That's all he ever wanted. As soon as the ball was played over the top, I was like, here we go. And it happened. And I'm just saying, earlier in the same day in the Premier League, we saw that not given. Literally the exact same day earlier, we saw that exact same call, a tug on the shoulder in the box because it was very light, not given. And I'm willing to bet that if that foul had happened in the middle of the pitch.
Talk about the Trossard one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That exact thing happened. And I thought, too, even the one at the top of the day, I was like, that's kind of 50-50. I don't know if I would call that either. Like, just me being, unbiased there. Same thing with the Dallas game. It's just Tomasi didn't rip him down. It was kind of just like he wanted to get a little bit of positioning. He moved his shoulder a little bit. Boom. That's all it takes. They fall. No VAR check. So no VAR. No VAR check. Even though it happens in the box, no VAR check. And then they score the penalty. So I'm just like, and then we got hit on the counter for the second one. So, it was a very, very pragmatic day. If you weren't either a Red Bulls fan or a Dallas fan, it wasn't the best game to watch. Weather was terrible. Refs were equally bad. But I am choosing to be patient with this team. I think I'm not in a mode yet where I'm like, oh my God, we're moving backwards. I think
Musa needs to figure it out.
No, what I said in the chat was like, no one can find him. And it's true. Like it's just like defensively, it's one problem when you're running a different formation, a 3-4-3. Our team's never done that. But then also, so that leaves you vulnerable. But we're doing it with 2 of our 3 center backs missing. So we're doing it 2 backups that just aren't as great on the ball, don't make the right reads. For a number of reasons, they're backups, right? But up front, we have good players. It's just Ferreira could not get the ball at all in the first half because that's not his position. He's not a winger. He needs to be tucked in behind the 9. The personnel calls from Nico were interesting. I didn't really agree with them holistically. And I think at the end of the day, this team just lacks chemistry. In a brand new formation that it's very, very visible, they're still trying to learn. That's where I believe the mistakes are coming from.
You're still out your center backs. No, you guys are still missing your
Tavares are only starting one. And granted, he's been pretty good, bro. You look at the Montreal game, he had to literally tell Omar Gonzalez where to go and what to do. Like, there was that after losing Ibiaga in week 1. And now it's Tomasi and Junka that were back there. And frankly, Junka's not a center back. He's a wing back. He's not even like a tried and true left back. He's like a wing back playing a center back role. So it's just like we seem very short in the back line, like in terms of like having enough personnel. This might be a summer move for us, I think. I still don't think we're deep enough at that position. But if we get that sorted, man, I still think we could be decent. I'm choosing to be patient. Yes, back-to-back losses is never good in MLS, but this is a good team on paper. So I don't think I'm going to read too much into this, considering how just even the last seasons have gone.
That's fair. That's fair. But I like, it's 2 teams that, again, I feel like Red Bulls are still trying to figure it out. I still don't think that this game is defining on that they figured it out. They know what they're doing, but they're heading towards the right directions. I feel like both clubs are heading towards that direction. But again, like we've said this for the past couple of weeks, it's early days. These first couple of weeks is going to be rough. It's going to be growing pains for a lot of these teams. But hopefully, as the season goes on, this is something that they can build off of, and they use this to kind of push forward. As this is a very long season, especially with having Leagues Cup in between there, it makes it a little bit longer. So we're still early on here, but they got a lot of work on. But we'll see. A team that really needs to figure it out, and I feel like for the first couple minutes they had it figured out.
Bro, for more than that.
It
was like 70 minutes. They actually played well.
They played very well. And to my surprise, I feel like, but it is also going against what we said about Seattle, man. Seattle are proving us wrong again in the fact that we're waiting for them to kind of just fall off, and they just haven't.
St. Louis.
My bad.
Yeah, but okay, look. They haven't fallen off. I'm not saying that. I didn't say they're going to fall off going into the season. I think that they're going to take a step back. And like so far, I think that Austin game kind of proved it a little bit. There's like a strong path to beating this team. Whereas like last season, nobody had any game film on them. You kind of just had to like wing it at City Park too, of all places, right? Where the crowd's a massive factor. I don't know, man. I think America wasn't scared of them at all. And they slapped them up in their own stadium 4-0 last season. I think against decent teams who have a game plan for what they want to do, Austin almost let St. Louis take possession. You know what I mean? Like, you guys can have it, where I feel like St. Louis is like a counterattack, hit you on the break team.
Yeah, and again, I didn't see this with Austin because they were out without Driussi this week. I think second week that they've been without Driussi. But again, another team that's struggling to figure it out. I don't see any direction. Their fan base is in shambles. They all want their manager out. I don't know what's going on down there. Maybe when we get Hernan back, he can kind of fill us into what's going down over there in Austin.
Yeah,
but I think that they kind of you are right. You know, against Seattle, kind of more or less. I mean, Seattle. Why do I keep saying Seattle? St. Louis, kind of.
Seattle right through your head, man.
I don't know why that game got rained out. You know, like it should be.
Yeah. That was kind of unfortunate too.
Yeah, that would have been a good game. But you know, St. Louis, they need to figure something out. Which
they're
I feel
not
like
bad though. I don't think they need to figure out. I really don't.
But I mean, away from home. They've not been a strong side away from home. It kind of proves it here. Again, the Q2 used to mean something, like you said. I think it meant something this past weekend, which I don't know. This is one of those games where I didn't expect to draw. I definitely thought Austin was going to get dunked on. I think that's what I said. And it didn't happen. So,
bro, they kind of did outside the score line. And this is what I'm saying. It's like Austin honestly need to be this team this season is just understand that you're going to lose every stat, but as long as you don't lose the score line, you're going to be fine. And if I was Wolf, I'd be tailoring my strategy to just that. Be pragmatic as hell. Bro, beat Sean Dyche for Everton. Like, seriously, like give away possession, let them do what they want to do. But the minute we get that ball back, we're going to break. And they have some speedsters on that team. Bro, St. Louis had all the possession, all the XG, all the total shots, the shots on target. Austin had the most shots on target they've ever had in a game this season. Granted, we're only 3 weeks in, but 5. I'm sorry, total shots actually 5. This is the best game they've had offensively. And so, like, you know, it's not like St. Louis took a step back. I think Austin shocked them with 2 well-crafted set piece goals, like you know, to an extent, right?
Pieces.
It was Hedges and Cascante, bro. They haven't had a striker score for them yet, or even an attacking player. It was 2 center backs who scored. I think it's kind of a fluky game, and I still think if you ask St. Louis fans before the game started, even though it is Austin, it's still Q2 and all that. A point on the road is a point on the road.
It's just fair. It's fair. But going on to a team, because I want to quickly get through these because we have a lot of teams to get through.
Yeah.
RSL, Colorado.
This one was funny, bro.
What are we saying, boys? What are we saying? Who wants to open this one up?
I want to open it up saying that after last week, I predicted RSL to get a big win against LAFC.
What was the score? What'd you predict?
Oh, last week I predicted like 2-1. I didn't predict anything big. I didn't predict a 3-0.
I had some crazy shouts that RSL's going to beat their ass like 3-0 or something like that.
That's insane.
I don't know about all that.
If someone got
Alex was saying that, but you know it was just jokes. I didn't think it would actually be 3-0.
But this week RSL definitely let me down. I mean, I did predict a draw this week, but I did expect another big week for RSL, especially playing against a Colorado team with a lot to prove. But I guess there's a Derby magic or something because it's the Mountain Cup or whatever.
The Mountain Cup. Playing that elevation, bro. Nah, but I'll say this. I think Columbus, like
Colorado.
Why are you saying Columbus? He's saying the wrong fucking teams out here. You know,
the way your brain
like
works associations is so obvious, John.
Yeah.
It's so obvious, bro.
It's fair. Colorado, though, to that point, I think they played better this week. They've been lacking a little bit with the past 2 weeks. They brought in a lot of players, which it could be can kind of speak on the fact that they just needed time to gel. But you know, RSL needs to do better. Again, it goes back to that what we said about RSL about them not really having that sharp knife. They just need to finish their chances like They have the players to do it. They need to create a little bit more, and we'll see what happens. But they just made what's his face U22 this week. So
Luna.
they made Luna a U22 initiative, which I mean, again, it's a player that a lot of teams missed out on. That I mean, all of us would wish that he was at our club.
Yeah.
Like he's a very good player. He's gonna turn into something.
Yeah.
No, you would want Luna on that team. The way your team's looking now,
Over
the way he's looking
maybe a
around, yeah.
swap.
Hold on.
over
You would not
Angulo.
take Diego Luna?
I would even
Maybe-
take Diego Luna. And
Well, I don't-
Connor, you're a certified hater if you would not take Diego Luna, bro.
Okay, I would take him over Angulo, but I would rather have Ladero, Ojeda, and Torres over Diego Luna.
Bro, there's no way any one of us would happily take Diego Luna. 100%.
100%, bro.
I would take
I would
Luna
ta-
tomorrow,
Yeah,
bro.
you
I,
don't care.
I would pay RSL extra money to wrap him up in a nice little package, send him to us, bro. 100%, easily.
I would
Easily
pay
take Luna.
Orlando to get rid of it.
Would
Angulo.
you give up
Available.
Pereira for Luna?
That's not actually that's a decent shout.
It's a good
Yeah. You know
Pereira
what?
and Palariola. Send Palariola too.
Oriola. He wants him out the door right away.
Areola, we talked about this. I would give him away for free. Actually, I would say this: Areola to me, it's just he's not an attacker, in my opinion. I think there was a time in his career when he played a wingback position. That's where he plays. I don't think he's not a bad player. I don't want to slam Paul Areola like I've been doing. Like I just can't stand watching him up front because he's just not that guy. Like he doesn't have the instincts to offer something meaningful on a consistent basis, especially on the counter. He overthinks things. I think he needs to be in positions where he gets time to think about what's in front of him and make the right decision. I think that's and utilize his speed in modern football. It's the wingback, but
Going back to Diego Luna.
With Luna,
Yeah,
I would take him. I would take him over Ferreira, but only because I know that Ferreira, we have another striker to back him up. Musa wasn't here, different story. But with the Rapids and Real Salt Lake, bro, Salt Lake dominated. But if you guys actually watch that game, like they just possessed to possess. I think Colorado actually had more shots. RSL technically had more big chances, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they qualify that number, but they had more big chances. Outside of that, though, it was pretty solid from the Rapids. We just saw a better version of that team this week, I think.
Yeah, like I said, it's a team that had a lot of new players, new coach, new system, like different players need to adapt. So, they're getting there. But
What a finish by
I'm
Bassett,
not
by the
sold.
way. Bassett's goal was legit.
Yeah. I'm still not sold on Colorado yet. This is just a 1 week thing.
You're a Georgie hater, bro. You're a Georgie hater.
No, I wanted Georgie to come. If Georgie was playing with this team, that's the creator that we needed. That's what's missing. If
He
we
looked
had
better.
Georgie,
He looked better in this game.
Boy, you can't hate on him.
no,
He looked-
I can't. I think Georgie. If Georgie was here with the fire and we'd swap Shaqiri around, I think that's a good deal for both teams.
Bro, him, Navarro, Bassett, like I can see like that triangle just slowly becoming the attack for Rapids. It looked pretty good against RSL.
All right.
I want to explain my
Sam-
Luna take real quick though.
Okay, go for
See.
it. Go
Oh,
for
here we go,
it.
bro.
Go.
All right, good.
Okay, based off of talent alone, I would have Ojeda, Torres, and Ladero. But if we're talking pure form, I would have Luna start 100% over Ojeda, or maybe even Torres right now. Because
Bro, you're gonna hate me. I would start Luna over Ladero, and I would put Ladero
Really?
as yes. I saw Ladero come off the bench in the playoffs last year, specifically against FC Dallas, and bro, he offers something at that age that and probably just experience or anything else, but he offers the attack something at that age that some youngsters wouldn't be able to in this league. I really would start with Luna because of the hamster wheel energy you get from that kid, and then put in Ladero when it really matters most. Because I think creativity wise, they're not too far away from each
Yeah,
other.
that's not a bad shout.
I just feel like we have a guy like Ivan Angulo that's supposed to be like that, but I feel like Ivan Angulo is just a faster Chris Mueller.
Oh my god.
That's a crazy way to look at a player, but a faster Chris Mueller.
He
On
just
that note,
dribbles
on
the
that
ball
note, I'm
into
gonna
five
I'm
defenders.
gonna move on. I'm gonna move on that
Next
note.
game.
That's
Next game.
incredibly disrespectful. But either way,
Disrespectful.
San Jose against
He played for my
Vancouver
team.
winning
Oh wait, no,
2-0.
it's San Jose. We can go back.
Yeah, it's San Jose versus
Oh,
Vancouver. A Vancouver side that, by the way, I don't know. I expected a draw here. I don't think San Jose offensively has been that good of a team this year. I feel like they're really missing a lot of things. I don't think Kate Cowell was that guy for him either way. with him moving to Chivas, I don't think that really would have.
I mean, obviously it is, bro. Look at the Quakes. Look at this team.
I
This is
I
fucking
don't know.
shambles, bro. They're almost down there with Austin.
Like,
They're worse than
they
Austin.
count, yeah, but okay, how much do you think? How much do you think Kane would have actually helped this team had they had him here?
He scored for
Nothing at all.
Chivas. That's all I'm gonna say. He has scored goals for Chivas.
Chivas is a better team than San Jose, though. Like,
Fair, but bro, him and Espinosa, there's got to be something there. Abobasi, like, there's at least a front three. I don't know, man. Maybe Luchi Gonzalez has lost it. I have no idea. He's a former SC Dallas assistant, so fucking, I don't know, man. Maybe he's lost the plot. I have no idea. But this San Jose team, Luchi might be gone before the end of the year if he can't turn the shit around.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't expect San Jose to do much. Honda, I know they're your rivals. Anything to comment on San Jose while we're taking digs?
God is good.
Oh no, bro. I will say this: Jackson Ewell is to me the only saving grace. He's the only saving grace.
Listen, Vancouver, it's not like they're like, okay, out of this world, but right. But they did what they needed to do. They went into San Jose, they scored their 2 goals, right? They weren't really worried about the defense because San Jose this season, I mean, they got a goal against Galaxy and then a goal against FC Dallas. But other than
that goal was a fluke. It happened in the first 5 minutes, and then it was literally FC Dallas from there. Exactly. Like a random fluke goal. It's like, okay, sure, whatever.
And I'm just saying they need to surround more players around Espinosa in the summer, because if not,
yes,
they're not doing anything.
Honda hit it right in the head. Like he needs pieces, bro. Because at the end of the day, you know what's crazy? Like after that fluke goal they got against Dallas, their best chances were all Espinosa by himself dribbling from out wide to like the center 25, 30 yards out and just ripping it.
They brought in Pellegrino, who was doing very well at Bodo Glimt, and Bodo Glimt wasn't like, okay, some shaky team, right?
No, they're like Europa Conference League or something.
They went through in like the Europa Conference League or in the Europa League. I'm not sure which one it was, but they were doing very well, and he was a key piece in that. He comes to San Jose, and he looks like a worse version of Kate Cowell.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's wild. I don't know what it is. Like I said, they have some pieces. They just can't make this for whatever reason work. And I don't know, man. Like it's hard to look at this. I'm trying to see it right now. I can't find many bright spots outside of Espinosa and Jackson Ewell. And I say just because like everything flows through them. They're not necessarily playing the best football themselves either, but like everything very clearly goes through them on this team.
Jackson Ewell isn't even a creator like that either. He's
more of a pit. He's more like an internal, he
has to create, because who else besides Espinosa?
Bro, I know. Gahan shouldn't be starting. I don't know, bro. They need help.
Vancouver, we haven't had much. We had 2 games that they played this season, so we don't have much to really go off of Vancouver. But they're shocking that they got a draw and a win. But against 2 weaker sides.
I mean, they made playoffs last year.
Yeah, but like barely, like barely. I think Vancouver doesn't. Again, they don't have a player that pops out to me. Stat wise in this game, like
Ryan Gauld is good. Ryan
Gauld is very good. Last season, I look at everything that
they had about 39% possession, so they didn't really possess the ball much this game. So I mean, again, a San Jose team that is toothless. San Jose had more shots than them, but at the end of the day, I think this game kind of is what it is.
Also a very good striker too. Wasn't Brian White on
White?
Team?
Yeah, but he's good. He had a good game. But like at the same time, right? Like he didn't score in this game. Like he's a smart forward, I would say. Brian White's good. Brian Gauld is definitely their star player though.
Like 100%.
Everything runs through him. So I know that because I'm preparing for that. This week, right? Dallas takes on Vancouver at home. So
yeah.
I think it, and again, I know we say we barely made it. They made it above us last season. It was 6 and 7. It was Vancouver and then Dallas. In the
and that's going to be a tough game for Dallas.
It'll be interesting. I think that they definitely have. They also run like a weird 3-5-2 or 3-4-3.
It's like a 3-5-2.
Yeah. So this could be. I mean, we'll talk about it, I guess, tomorrow a little bit. But this could be a shootout depending on how things go, because there's not going to be a ton of defensive help on either side. So we'll see what happens. But Vancouver's got something. They got something.
Yeah, they got something to work with. But going on to Nashville and the Galaxy, a Nashville team that has not looked very offensive this year.
Honda, how scared were you, bro? How scared were you?
I was very scared that LA turned back to the regular LA, man. And then, you know what? Hey, What happened.
Listen,
This
a,
is
a
wild.
Nashville team that, mind you, I think that what's his name just came back.
They
He came
rotated.
back. Yeah,
Honey?
Mukhtar came in midweek.
Yeah.
Right? Like he started midweek, but I think that confidence coming out of playing Inter Miami, getting a draw against Inter Miami midweek, I think that also kind of boosted them. And they were kind of feeling themselves a little bit against the Galaxy. They come on, they played well, and Galaxy looked, like it's like you said, Honda. They looked kind of back how they were last season. Not really, they didn't really show much. But how did you can explain to us your thoughts and how you felt about this?
First of all, Payne's still giving a stupid foul in the area, man. Like, why did you cut in? Why not go towards the wing that you know how to do? Why go towards the wing? Or actually, why go towards your own penalty area instead of going towards the wing? Right?
Is that the one thing they tell you to not do in youth soccer?
To go inside, yeah, instead of going outside, yeah.
Yeah.
Second of all, right, we had the penalty in the first half. Jovic took the pen. Again, like I'm saying, like if Fagundes has one thing that he should be doing on this Galaxy squad, is taking those penalties because he's experienced, and I'm pretty sure he's probably the only one that knows how to take a pen. Not even Jovic. Hey,
Jovic is your number 9 though.
He's our top goal scorer.
That's what I'm saying. He's your striker. I mean, it kind of makes sense why he's taking it.
Yeah, but you saw how atrocious that goal was. If you guys,
It wasn't as bad as Puja's. Like Ricky Puja's.
Oh yeah,
was
bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was like it was up there too.
But Puja, he had the, he needed to prove something. It's against former Barca teammates. So
if anything, he just proved why he had to come to MLS to get minutes, bro. Like at the end of the day,
listen, but he was the best player in that game. He was the best player in that game. Hands down.
Fair.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Nashville surprised me a bit, actually scoring goals without really Mukhtar.
Oh, yeah.
Mukhtar
Nashville
scoring.
It was a bench. I was like,
they rotated.
Yeah. Like, who was the one guy that scored midweek that was cooking?
Yearwood.
Yeah.
Yearwood.
Yo,
But hold on, can we say this? Can we say this about Nashville though? Yes, give them their props. They started kind of slow, and they have two, potentially positive games, I guess, in a row. With that said, they also bottled a 2-0 lead twice, back to back now. So I think if we're going to be critical of other teams, got to be critical of this team too. On their own home pitch, they could now see out a 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0 against Miami.
They're about to lose to us as well. By the way, they're about to lose to us as well. We just
I know. I was watching the game and I was like, bro, if Galaxy come back and just like reverse sweep this shit and make it 3-2. Bro, Nashville don't even show up for the next game. Like at the end of the day, like it's back to back in the same week to put your fans through that. I would be livid if Dallas had botched twice a 2-0 lead back to back like that. Again, and one of them being at home. It's just one of those things where it's like you can give them their props because of how they started. And, no Henny Mukhtar and all that BS. But at the end of the day, like it's next man up mentality, and that's poor.
They got to show up. At the end of the day, they got to show up. But a team that did not show up at all without their star Messi, a Montreal team that I think last week we had all.
No.
No.
What
did you say?
God is good. God is good.
No, yeah, God is good. I was I'm actually putting together a clip as we record this. With my own content. I have John in like phases of the first few episodes of Wake Up MLS. And what's crazy about that is that interestingly enough, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Chicago Fire take on Montreal this week. I think it's gonna be life comes at you fast in MLS moment for John Rivera. I think this man was laughing at FC Dallas less than 2 weeks ago, and now 7 points in 3 games, taking down 2 playoff teams and Messi FC along the way, and they traveled to Chicago.
Messi wasn't there.
But Boosie, Jordy, and Suarez all were.
Okay, but Messi's not there,
bro.
Dude,
he's not
the fire dunked on Miami.
Do not disrespect those greats like that, bro. Do not.
Come on,
they're greats, but they're old.
Listen,
nobody was saying that when Jordy scored yesterday.
Okay, Jordy.
Bro, you got Jordy Alba scoring like it's 2018 all over again.
Jordy and Boosie were there when they ate 4 goals against the Fire, and I'm gonna keep saying that because again, at the end of the day, this team goes as Messi goes, and I am
not true, bro. That is so disrespectful to the El Pistolero, the greatest striker of our generation,
Bro.
Boosie, the greatest defensive mid of our generation, and Jordi Alba. I'm not gonna say the best left back of our generation. Someone like
Here's the thing,
but he's
it's
up
kind of
there.
showing like that, and I don't want to say it, but it kind of is showing like that. If Messi's not there on the pitch, they're having struggles games.
This is the most
Game after
recency
game.
biased take I've ever heard out of you.
It's
guys.
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Wait.
It's
Be
not.
surprised
It's
with the
not.
game,
Okay.
yeah.
Go
That shit's
back.
wild, bro.
Okay. We have proof, though. We have proof of what this team is. Go back to last season, and this team hasn't changed that much. But mind you, they could be missing Farias and whatever. It's still this. They still got Robert Taylor. They still got Campana. It's just, the structure of this team is still there. Mind you, they added Julian Gressel to this team. So hold on. Go back to the games where Messi wasn't playing. How did they perform? Go back to
compare
after.
one of the worst. This is cherry picking at its finest, ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
not.
This is
It's
cherry
not.
picking at
It's
its
not.
absolute finest. This man has a 4-0 hanging in his room somewhere. I fucking guarantee it. but like on
It's
top
on his
of that, bro,
refrigerator.
yes, bro. There's no way they're going to beat 2023 to Miami. There's just if that's the comparison you're making.
No, they're
I'm
not.
not.
Miami,
I'm just
but
saying. I'm
Yeah,
not.
you
I'm just
are.
saying. I'm just saying that this Miami team without Messi is looking, and it has looked in the past, that it's very Messi dependent, and they go as Messi goes.
Dude,
I do not feel like I'm wrong with what I'm saying.
I'm an Orlando
have time to
fan.
change
I
around.
hate Miami with my guts, my soul, my passion. But I can tell you, this Miami team isn't just Messi alone. They have really good. They have good players on that team. They literally sign players that
Listen,
people were like, "There's no way they're going to
had
put
it-
this
had-
Argentinian
had it
under
not-
21 player under the cap." And then they
Okay.
keep signing these players, and you're like, "How do these
Okay.
players keep signing for
but had
Miami?"
it okay,
There's
Montreal
no
could
way that this
Montreal
team
could
is
have
that
four.
bad
By the
without
way,
Messi.
Montreal could have 4. And
Miami could have had 3.
I mean, calendar on that one that should have been a goal, which I don't know how the fuck this.
Yeah,
team
but
missed that, by
it
the
still
way.
counted because they scored the ensuing corner kick.
Yeah, but still, again,
He
at the end
missed
of the-
it. Yeah, what's it, Cotero, whatever his name is, and then
Yeah.
and then the debutant of all players, right? The 20-year-old at Montreal, the center back, who he misses the first corner kick. They get a second one off that same play still, and then he scores the second one.
Fernando Alvarez, right?
Yeah, Fernando Alvarez.
Yes, Alvarez. But how? What is Messi going to do to stop that from happening? Just since he's the whole fucking team, how is he going to stop that moment from happening?
You know what ends up happening? He finds a way to score 2 extra goals, makes it 4-3 for
No.
Miami.
Bro,
That's-
come on,
that's-
man.
Miami had almost a
So
3
nitpicky.
xG, and we're gonna sit here and say that they need Messi to win games,
Yes,
bro.
they do.
They had 15 shots.
Okay, I'm
they
not
don't
gonna
need
go
Messi to win these
that
games.
far with John, but
Okay, so then whose fault is it? Why is this result?
The
Why is
defense?
this
Messi
result
doesn't play.
winning?
He doesn't play center back. He doesn't play outside back. Doesn't play keeper.
Okay,
doesn't
but
play center
explain-
mid.
but explain this result.
They were slicing him up like Swiss cheese, right up the fucking middle of the field. He
Okay,
doesn't play
but-
that position, bro.
Again, explain this result. How the fuck do you allow that to happen?
It's
Bro.
3-2. I think how you let it to happen is that 1, it's MLS. 2, they underestimated Montreal like you have, like most fans have. And 3,
Orlando.
bro, yeah, they're coming off the midweek game where I believe the excuse, if there was one to use, is that maybe they got tired legs collectively as a team. They're playing Champions League football this early in the season. That affects players. I totally get that. But this narrative that, like, dude, if Messi's not playing, they're just going to lose.
They also
No
switched
fucking
to a
way. I don't buy
3-back.
that.
They switched. Okay, I don't know what thought that was cooking up. He switched to a 3-back. He's been playing 4-3-3.
He rotated. Did you see how many kids they had on the pitch?
Yeah.
Did you see how many kids they
Figure
had
it
on the pitch?
out. Figure it out.
Bro, they how many academy? You know how many 30, 40, 50 something numbers that I saw on the pitch against Montreal, bro? It's part of what they signed up for. They're going to prioritize Champions League, right? Messi
Yeah,
wants
they
that
will,
that
but
major
as-
trophy. Totally fine. And these games are going to happen, but not because Messi's not there. Probably collectively as a unit because they're tired, because
But I
their
feel like
legs
they-
aren't there.
Okay, but these guys, whoever is there, needs to step up a little bit because
Fair.
Robert Taylor.
Robert Taylor needs to step up.
Okay, are you saying this because it was Montreal? That's what I think it is. I think
A
it's
little bit of both.
Yeah,
Listen.
I'm not
Listen,
saying-
I'm gonna say this right here. If we don't beat Montreal, there's something wrong with my
bro,
team. I know-
Montreal, decent fucking team. What do you
Montreal
want?
Listen, no, they're not.
Yeah, but
Now,
it's like
look at their
games.
names.
Okay, look.
All right,
okay,
come back
goals
to this.
scored.
Come
They've
back.
spent
Come
years
back.
since they
Come back to
scored
this.
this goal.
Come
This
back
many
to
goals.
come back to this Saturday. I'm just saying. Come
Bro.
back to this Saturday.
I
Boy,
can't.
if
If
you're
you're
so
crying, oh, you're gonna be crying about how your team's trash, and that's not gonna be it. You're discounting a pretty damn good team in Montreal, a team who understands how to be pragmatic, a coach who understands how to be pragmatic. Those teams are the most lethal because they don't care if they have possession. They have a game plan the minute they get the ball,
And
they execute it very well.
neither do we. Our best, you literally said it. Our best way to attack is through the counterattack. So we're gonna
That's
see.
not y'all's game plan. That's what plan you have because you're fucking lost otherwise. It's different when that's like your go-to plan. That is your strategy. You guys try to dominate possession. The minute you give it up, it's over, right? Like, oh fuck, I guess we're gonna lose this game now. I'm saying that there's a legitimate game plan with how Montreal is playing, and it's working against everyone. I don't know how many, Connor included, picked Orlando City to win MLS Cup. There's a lot of others out there just like him. And they beat Dallas on the road, right? And then they take down Miami on the road. Like, what proof do you fucking need?
Listen, I struggle to
Gina
see it,
slap
but
you up at home too?
we'll find out. We'll find
Bro,
out.
bro, if you're so
I'm
confident,
not
if you're so
convinced. I'm
confident
still not
in,
convinced.
if you're so confident, I want you to put something on the line. I want you to put something
What
on
are
the
we
line on
putting
this
on?
game.
What are we putting on? I'll buy a Montreal kit. If they beat us, I'll buy
You already
a
said
Montreal
that.
kit.
You already said
There you
that.
go.
I'll buy a
Joseph
Montreal kit.
Martinez.
No, I'll buy a Montreal kit. And as soon as it gets here, I'll put it on and I'll
I can't wait to drop the kit links to MLS Soccer Store in the DMs this week. I can't wait to just drop them. Like, go ahead, bro.
I want you.
Can't
Hold
wait.
on. I want you to buy a Juan kit, the new right back. I want you to buy a Juan kit. That's all
I
I'm
was gonna say
saying.
Joseph
That's
Martinez.
my
I was
last
gonna say
point.
Martinez, but that's
Martinez?
No, please. No.
All right.
No.
On that note, I think that was probably our best. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm still not sold, but we will see. And again, if they beat us, I'll wear a Montreal kit. I'll respectfully hold the loss. Okay. At the end of the day, it is.
I'm not letting you respectfully hold it. You're gonna hold it, but it's gonna be the most unimaginable thing. It's unbearable thing you can fucking hold.
Disrespectfully, that's how you're gonna hold it.
I'm telling you, bro. Y'all are just discounting this team. I saw what I saw, and the stats don't lie either. This team is looking hella different. I don't know how we can give credit to like Toronto and the Galaxy. And you even said Minnesota United, like all these other teams who really weren't that relevant last year. Because it's like, oh, they're on the up and up, but it's Montreal. Nah, they're still ass. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
I think Montreal is doing better than most of those teams as well.
Yes, bro. They're literally
They are.
tied with Miami top of the table.
They are. But let's get to our player of the weeks. I think for me, it's gotta be Gakumakis. There's no other way about it.
Yeah,
I think it's a consensus for all of us. I think like we touched about it when we talked about Atlanta.
Freak, bro.
He's just a different animal. And I think he'll compete with Cucho to be either the top goal scorer or what was it be one or two. I think Bouanga can get in the mix there. Bouanga can definitely be mixed in with all of them. But at the end of the day, I think Gakumakis will go if, like you said, Almada, you can take advantage of Almada being there. I think it's all him for the rest of the season. I don't think we have any other arguments for that.
I don't know. I like Almada.
Almada? Okay, but it's under the same side.
I also want to bring up Pookie as well from the Orlando game, just because of how clinical he was. Like, he had like 2 shots and they both went in. Like, there's not really much you can ask for.
No Pookie, no party. That's how it works, bro.
Yeah. Hey, no Messi, no party. Just
oh
saying.
my gosh.
I'm that guy on this. You know what's crazy, bro?
Let it be, man.
Let it be. Begging people to just like give him a break, and I'm like, bro, no, you did this to yourself. You did this to yourself, bro. Like, anyway, we'll move on.
Wooden spoon of the week. All right.
Oh my god.
Who are we giving it to? Who are we giving it to?
I don't know. I kind of wanted to just give it to New England, man.
I was gonna say, I think
I put that down. I wrote that down on my sheet.
We have to because of like the expect. Now, granted, it's at Mercedes Benz, and I can't think of a single person I saw that didn't pick Atlanta to win, but nobody saw 4-1. Nobody.
Yeah, I think the scoreline just completely sent for what it was. I think that scoreline kind of spoke on everything as a consensus. Like I said, how things kind of turned around for New England. It's not in the positive way that they would have hoped and expected for their season to start. I mean, it's tough. It's tough loss. It's against another big team in the East that has a lot of firepower and another contender in the East. But
Bottom of the East right now. Bottom of the East.
Yeah, I cannot let that slide. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out
too, which is crazy.
I'm trying to figure out who we're gonna end up throwing the wooden spoon to at the end of the season, and I don't think New England's it, but there's a lot of teams.
Might be
Just keep
Chicago.
going like that, man.
I don't think it's gonna be. Listen, if we get as bad as Austin, then come send help.
That's true. There's levels.
There's levels. Austin's there. But
it's gonna be a tough season for Redon, bro. It's gonna be tough.
Man, I feel bad.
I feel for him. He's a great dude, but it's gonna be a tough season.
And the thing is, he tries to be so positive about his team, and he's trying to be so supportive, but the team's not really giving him much there. But
it's tough.
No Driussi, no party.
No Driussi, no party, bro. Facts.
With Driussi, there might not be a party, bro.
Even with him, yeah. There's a lot for him to do there. There's a lot for him to do.
All right, Connor, we love to do the quick fire here on the show.
But do we want to look at our week 3s before we move on?
Yeah. Okay. How are we looking at? So show the receipts because you.
Okay.
Wait,
you want me to share my screen? Is that possible?
I don't know.
I think you can share the shit. I think.
Can you?
Yeah.
I think you might be able to. Hold on. Okay, so this is Connor's table. This is Connor's table on here. All right.
It's a lot of red
at how
and
many
category.
games.
Wow, that's wild, bro. Holy
By the way,
Lord,
I want
a
to
lot of
I want to point out how amazing Honda's first 4 predictions are.
You were
And
on
then it
cloud
just
9
falls all the way
until
down.
Mike
Yeah.
took you with the Dallas game, bro. That's crazy.
No, he was right on. But listen,
Until he wasn't.
It happens,
Oh, yeah.
I changed some of my predictions from one day to the next because the next day I had said some different things. So maybe we need to combine a little bit, take what was right from there.
Yeah, you're just saying that because you're the fewest, right? You're just saying that because you're the fewest, right?
Listen, it happens. I called this losing, so I got that right. So
Yeah, but even that was like epic fashion. I mean, you literally narrowly pulled that out, and from there it was just holy. Bro.
Oh wait, I said that we were losing on ours on the other one. That I put a draw here.
But either way, imagine you had given the same take on both shows, you'd be worse off. You had 2 matches that you were right about.
No. But Connor, as this table kind of folds out, we'll add people because at the end of the season, I want to kind of put this table and we'll kind of add things to it just to see how poorly some of our takes went or how successful they were. I don't know.
My takes will definitely be poor. It'll be up there. I'll tell you that right now.
So?
Look at that table.
I want to sit here and I want to highlight the biggest, I think, predictions that some of us had. Honda, Toronto over Charlotte. John and I both got that wrong. It's pretty bold. I picked Austin to draw with St. Louis, which I thought was pretty bold. They ended up pulling that out. John picked Colorado over RSL, and it ended up panning out. I picked Vancouver over San Jose, which, I mean, to be fair, how San Jose is playing, I mean, it's not really too surprising anymore. Nashville, LA, and I picked Montreal over Miami.
Listen, just know that I'm glad I didn't put any money on these games. So I would have lost a lot of money.
You definitely would have. Definitely would have. I highly recommend you put money on the Fire Montreal game this week. That should pan out well.
I would have cashed out at the 4th game, by the way.
I would have cashed out on the 4th game.
Saw the weather with the Dallas Red Bulls. Nope, that's the sign.
Cash out. All right, Connor, do you wanna do the honors on the quick fires?
Okay, I'll start us off. We have Chicago versus Montreal.
I'm backing my boys. I already had said it. I'm backing the Fire.
I'm taking Montreal.
That's crazy. I think you're just saying that because you're just hating.
Well, bro, now I'm locked the fuck in. Now I was actually thinking maybe a draw, but no, now I'm invested. I got Montreal. I got Martinez scoring the game winner, bro.
Martinez.
Oh my God, that hard, bro.
Holy, whoa.
Boo.
Hey,
Let's go,
I
bro.
got
Let's
Montreal, but that's because they've proven me too many times wrong, bro. So I
okay, and guess what? When I prove you
Honda
wrong,
sees the light.
When I prove you wrong, we're gonna come back to this. There's got to be something. I can't be the only one having something on the line.
Listen,
what happens if I win? What do I get? What do I
You
get?
had the hot take. I'm literally using logic to show you why Montreal's a decent team and you should be worried about them. You're like, nah, they haven't done shit. I'm like, all right. That's fine, bro. That's fine.
But John, who you're taking Chicago?
I took Chicago.
All right. I'm gonna take a draw on this one.
That's probably the
Okay.
smart thing. That's like the money play, I think. But
Yeah, I mean, like they got a draw on Orlando. They just went all out against Miami. I feel like a draw is the right one. But I would absolutely love to see Montreal get that win. I mean,
Okay.
John,
We
get
haven't,
the one
relish in
jersey.
John's pain.
we
That would
haven't,
be
we haven't
amazing.
even decided what Montreal can do. I
But-
gotta get is the question.
but
Do I get a pick?
You got off my side, Jose, with the Martinez goal. That's all I'm saying. I had your back, and then he said Martinez scored.
I
And
just
was
think
like,
it would be the most trolling thing ever if Martinez scores, just flexes on John on his own field. That would be amazing, bro. I don't know that I'm hoping that happens, but if it doesn't,
Montreal
I
still
won't be
have
mad at it.
extra
Listen.
players?
If I have to buy this Montreal kit,
Maybe.
it's not the ugliest thing in the world.
No,
That's
the
all I'm
kid doesn't
saying.
look bad.
no.
It's not the ugliest
Raheem
thing in the world.
Edwards.
So
It's just when you
John,
wear it, it's gonna
Raheem
remind
Edwards.
you of how I beat you in this fucking bet, bro. It's gonna be-
Raheem
that's where the
Edwards
pain
plays
comes
for
from.
Chicago Fire. How about that?
hey, listen. At the end of the day, it's just adding more kits to the MLS pile that I need to make anyway. So it's
That's
just
right.
fine.
That's fair.
True.
That's
Is what it is, bro.
True.
Is what it is.
All right.
Now let's
What's
move
the
on.
next game?
DC versus Miami.
What are we saying?
Who's at
Both
home?
teams look good. Both teams look
I'm
good.
taking Miami.
It's
Who's at
fair.
home?
Who's at home?
DC.
I'm still taking Miami.
Is Messi playing or not?
We got
You'll have the
So
second
we-
leg this week. So depending on how
Let's-
that goes, and he may not
Listen,
even start that game.
All right,
I'm
because of
thinking-
that, I'm taking DC.
I was thinking that way last week when I made my prediction Montreal versus Miami. I was like, they got a big game, that Nashville game, and Nashville love playing defense.
Okay,
they're
don't
gonna be
even
playing real
go
hard.
too far. Don't even go too far. Just look at that Montreal game. If Montreal can beat him, I think DC can beat him if they're going to play another rotated squad. And they drew 2-2, so they're going to have to play their star players midweek. I think DC can beat that team. If Montreal did it, DC could do it.
I think you're looking at a one-off game. I don't see Miami dropping back-to-back MLS games, in my opinion. I just don't see it happening, but I could be wrong.
I'm gonna go with a draw. I'm gonna play it safe.
Draw. Well, I'm gonna go against everything that my soul tells me, and I'm gonna have to pick Miami.
Fair enough.
You just
It hurt.
it's okay to
It
be
hurt.
wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Don't
Unless you're John picking Montreal, bro. Otherwise, yeah, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong.
Okay, Seattle versus Colorado.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, where is this? Lumen Field or is this
Lumen Field? Yeah, Lumen Field.
It's hard to
I'm
go
gonna
to
go with
Poland. though.
Colorado.
I've got Seattle.
I got to draw.
I believe in De La Vega. I'm not gonna lie.
He's injured.
Cheyenne.
He's
Who's got more goals,
He's injured,
De La
by the way.
Vega or
De La Vega's
Messi?
De La Vega is injured, by the way.
Wait, he got injured?
Yeah,
He got injured last
He was
week,
injured too.
and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
out for like a month.
I feel like an idiot now. Okay.
Nah,
well,
bro. I'll be honest, man. For the hot take, I'm gonna pick Colorado.
Yes, Jose.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna pick Colorado.
Honda?
Colorado. I said Colorado from the
Oh.
beginning.
I think they'll build
Okay.
on beating RSL at home. I
I
don't think
said
they're
a
scared.
draw. Seattle's got a week rest, you know?
I'm
Yeah, but they're still missing Rusnak. They're still missing potentially
De La
Rui
Vega as
Diaz,
De La Vega's well.
Yamar in the back. They're missing pieces. Stephen Fry maybe too. So there's a lot.
Oh, they're missing
Hey,
Fry.
I
Oh,
think-
never mind. Give it to Colorado. Never mind. Never mind.
I don't want to. I don't think
never
they're going
mind,
out
never
of
mind.
it.
Give it
but-
to
Play sweep,
Colorado.
Connor. Play
Okay, I guess my take's the hot take now. Columbus versus New York Red Bulls.
Columbus.
Columbus,
Columbus.
man. Why we even? This is
No, Red Bull's a good team. It'll be close. Where is this? Is that Red Bull Arena?
No,
Oh, yeah,
it's a-
Columbus.
Columbus? Lower.com? Yeah.
Oh, it's Columbus.
100%
it's
Columbus.
Columbus.
But it'll be close. I can see like a 1-0 or 2-1. I don't think it's going to be.
Hey,
Crazy
I'm
game.
actually considering
will take
going to
Columbus.
the All-Star game this year. So I'm
Ooh.
considering.
Where's
so
that at?
maybe
Is that Columbus?
This Columbus? I'm considering it.
Oh. Yeah,
It's
let me
midweek
know.
though. It's midweek though. It's the difficult thing, but I could
If
probably
you
get
can,
off.
if you can, let me know. I might be down. If you can.
Yeah, I might be down to actually do that.
When is that?
It's
July.
in July.
In July.
I might be able to.
Maybe get like an Airbnb or something. I might be down.
Yeah. I might actually be down. I have to talk about that.
Yeah, right after the Copa America too.
Yeah,
Right?
it'll be
Yeah,
sick.
Argentina copping their dub, and then I go and see some Orlando players win. You know, that's the win
Listen,
in
the
summer.
almighty red, white, and blue are coming firing with their mega roster that they got.
We'll see. We'll see.
Trust.
Mm.
Believe.
Believe.
NYCFC versus
Fighting
Toronto.
win.
Versus who?
Fighting
Toronto?
win. Toronto. NYC's at home. Baseball arena.
Ooh.
I mean, we already. But that's Portland.
You know
Give me what? Give me a draw. Give me a draw.
You know what my
Yeah.
answer is.
I'll take a draw also, actually.
Wow.
You know what? Let me go different. Let me go TFC. Just because.
TFC. Okay.
Again, trust in Toronto. I respect it. I'm
Damn.
taking New York.
Honda stands Insigne. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm baseball arena. I mean, that's enough for me.
I think if
I
it
think
wasn't
it's
that
like-
crazy Evander goal, it would have been a Portland tie too. So I'm gonna back the draw.
Yeah.
I'm taking that draw.
Now this is a funny one. Austin versus Philadelphia.
At the Q2?
Yeah,
Q2.
Q2.
At the Q.
Bro, this is getting
Gonna
wait,
be suspended
what
again?
version of the Union
Wait,
shows up?
Is this El Sakiko?
Pretty much.
Oh, maybe.
Is this El
Because think
Sakiko?
about it, bro. If Curtin loses to this version of Austin, you are fucking done. You are trash. Like there's no way.
Hey, this could be El Sakiko. I'm just saying. It could
Okay,
be.
but okay, listen to me. Austin have never gotten more than 5 shots. I don't know if they can do that against Philly.
Philly's
I'm
a very
taking the
good
Union.
John, back your agenda. How about that?
Yeah,
You
back
know
your
what?
agenda against Curtin, bro. Take Austin. Take Austin. Do it.
But Drius's not playing.
No balls.
Drius's
No
balls.
balls. No balls.
He
You know
might
what?
be
You know
back.
what?
Hey,
You know what?
he's on the bench
what?
this last game. He's on the bench. He might be back.
Hernan, I back you. Austin.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna go with the draw.
Yeah, the Dallas
You're
fan
out.
in me can't back Austin, bro. I'm sorry, but
Dallas fan.
I love you, Hernan, but there's no fucking way. But I think realistically, though, Union should be very, very competitive in this game.
Wait, they're playing CCL midweek too, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
isn't it who they have now? Wasn't it some Costa Rican team, or am I tripping?
No, I feel
Alajuelense, I think.
like
Yeah,
they're not
but
playing
they drew,
anybody
didn't they?
big.
They drew. Hold on, they drew. They drew that game. They drew like 0-0.
No, they're
I
playing
still
against
think they should take
Pachuca.
it,
Oh
bro.
no, they're playing
Pachuca.
Pachuca. They're playing Pachuca.
Oh, they're playing against Pachuca. Oh,
In
yeah, they're
Mexico.
gonna get by Pachuca.
In Mexico
After,
too.
you know what?
By the way, they're in
Yeah.
They might just play for like a very narrow result or play for a draw. I still think that Curtin is gonna. I don't know why. I still think he's gonna prioritize mentally MLS.
why?
Because it's the cup, it's eluded him forever. I think he does this. I think he makes the excuse in Champions Cup because of I don't have the team anyway. Like the front office hasn't given me a team of star-studded players. I'm not going to try and completely deplete my team for Champions Cup, and we're not going to win it.
Isn't that Mr. We're in a better position than 99% of the
Yes,
league or something
very
like that?
true. I think to maintain that, he has to be relevant in the league. He has to continue to win games in the hardest conference in MLS.
That's what I'm saying. If he loses to this Austin team, bro,
yeah,
he
I
gotta
think
go.
he'll prioritize winning over Austin to save face versus trying to take down Pachuca, but maybe not being successful, right? Like I don't know. That's just my personal.
Salomon Rondon is gonna dunk on their heads.
Maybe, but can you imagine Rondon just absolutely just hat trick, fucking just absolutely going him? I mean, he could. I'm
He's
not saying it
cooking
won't
in the
happen,
Liga
but-
MX, by the way, so it's
Yeah.
not far.
No, Rondon's a good player. I'm not saying that. I think that and I don't think Curtin's gonna throw the game. I'm just saying that mentally, I think he still might put out a pretty strong team for Austin.
Hey, just saying. Philadelphia getting dunked on by a former River Plate player midweek, just to get dunked on by another former River Plate player on the weekend.
Bro, if Driussi comes back and does end up dunking on the Union, that'll be wild. I mean, then we'll
That's a
know that.
stack, that's
Then we'll know he's the key to that team, and then Curtin has a lot to answer for. But this version of Austin should be beatable for the Union.
Philadelphia will be Boca fans by the end of this week. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Next game.
Dallas versus Vancouver. Dallas at home.
You know me, bro. I'm taking Dallas. I mean, at the end of the
Wait,
day,
Dallas is at home?
yeah, Dallas.
Respect. Yeah.
Give me Dallas.
Okay. Double
Yeah,
down.
as bad as Dallas have been playing recently, I mean, I'm gonna go with Dallas again. I just don't see Vancouver.
I don't have enough.
Oh my
I don't have enough
gosh.
info on Vancouver yet. So
I'll be honest. No one really has enough info on either team. to me, I'm picking Dallas 'cause I'm a Dallas fan, but equally, like, I think all of us kind of like that this game's up in the air. Like we don't really know what could happen because we just don't know enough about either team. Dallas isn't anywhere near healthy, and
this one is probably the most unpredictable out of this.
Yeah, it's such a wild card game.
I don't want to be rude, but I think I'm gonna take Vancouver.
Last year we went 1-1, so like it's really like anybody's guess. They beat us there, we beat them here.
Yeah, I mean Vancouver's one of those low key teams, but like I do like what I've seen from them so far.
John, this was the fucking game that Arriola scored an own goal on us last season. I was so pissed. We lost 1-0 on an Arriola fucking own goal. I was so mad, bro.
That's where his hate started. You know, like
yes,
the whole
bro.
agenda. Arriola out
for 80% of the season. That was his sole goal contribution as our DP. I almost lost it, bro.
He's a DP. I am shocked. I didn't even know that.
Wait, but Dallas doesn't really do DPs that well, to be honest.
No, we don't. It's like, well, and then we have Velasco's our young DP, but it's really Musa, Ferreira, Arriola. I guess Yada's actually not even DP because he's so old that he gets paid on a decent salary now. So, yeah, unless they moved him off and I missed it, he was 100% our DP at least last season.
So we got Houston versus Portland in the next game. Houston's at home.
Give me Portland, though. I don't think Houston has enough yet. Give me Portland.
They're also, bro, the whole state of Texas right now is down so bad. I mean, Houston and Dallas for injury's sake, and Austin. But like
just keep digging that grave.
Bro, for real. It's going to be
taking them when they're down. Like
Houston's worse than Dallas right now. We have a lot of injuries, but they have a lot of injuries.
Yeah, isn't Achacha out too?
He's still rehabbing. Yeah, bro. It's tough to.
I was gonna go to that game because they come to Chicago, but if Achach is not there,
when is that game?
It's like let me check the schedule. I think we play them. It's next month.
He might be. He's rehabbing already. Like he's already trying to come back. It's just like I don't know how long it'll be.
The 6th.
By the way, Champions Cup against Columbus midweek, and then having to go play Portland.
That's tough. Yeah. And they're going to give everything for that Columbus game because they lost 1-0 and very narrowly. They lost like in the last part of the game. Yeah. So like, I think they're going to give a lot to try to see if they could save that tie, which means that on a depleted squad already, they're going to be tired.
Yeah, like I said, that's what I said. Portland's looked good. They're getting results.
Is this in Houston?
Yes, it is in Houston.
Even then, still, man, like Houston.
Because doesn't Houston have to they have to travel to Ohio, right?
Yeah, they have to travel to Ohio and then
midweek and then come back.
Come back to Houston. Yeah, I'm gonna just have something different. I'm just gonna say a draw. Just to say it's a draw. But I can see you guys pick Portland for sure.
I believe that. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about picking a draw, but I do trust Portland's attack.
Yeah, you never know. I don't underestimate the Dynamo, but like it's just.
I said Portland.
Yeah, I said Portland.
You said Portland?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have KC versus San Jose. KC's at home.
KC all day.
I would normally say that, but the draw is 0-0 and it's LAFC, so take it with a grain of salt, right? But it's like,
it
was just such a stale game. Like it was alright. It was a pretty good.
Is this contender for Snooze of the Week?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is up there. It is
100%. I'm gonna give me a draw, man. It's gonna be 0-0. I'm not watching that game. Tell you that. If there's goals, I'm just being honest. Listen. This is the game where you just turn on. I'm picking one game to watch and then MLS 360 on the side. So if I'm really being honest, I think I'm gonna pick. Neither of the 7:00 games really look that appetizing. And probably the Houston game. I'll probably watch that. But other than that, I don't really. Maybe I'll probably turn on that Columbus game actually, but all these other games, MLS 360, just let me know what's going on. Like that's just what I'm doing.
I'm taking KC. Just it could be like a 1-0. I might even be a PK,
like that
piece or whatever. Like they might get something, but San Jose just hasn't proved they can stop anybody
yet. I agree. I want KC in this game. I don't like what San Jose's been putting up in the past few games, and I don't think Daniel's gonna do it. I don't think Daniel's gonna.
Daniel ain't doing
You're doing your Daniel agenda, man.
Bro, I'll say this, man. We shut Austin a lot. I mean, San Jose is worse right now. They're bottom of the West and 0 points, -5 goal differential. At least Austin's got points. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's just I don't know, man. The Quakes are
Yeah, but I wouldn't particularly be happy to be either one of them. I mean, either one
No,
of them.
but still, at least Austin are like, a couple spots away from a wild card, not fucking sitting at the very bottom
The
trying to
Quakes have
breathe.
somewhat depth. They could fix themselves. They just choose not to. Austin don't really have anything.
Austin
Not
got
yet.
kids. Austin has kids.
That's true. But and those kids, I mean, it's a big gap between Next Pro and the first team, right? But at the end of the day, those kids are Next Pro champs. I still think that there's something there potentially with Austin. And that's me as a Dallas fan. I know that their technical director is cooking up a little bit. Say that with a grain of salt.
They probably have the best facilities in Texas right now. They're the newest facilities in Texas, and make it work. Make it work.
I'm saying that I think that they're waiting for summer. I think that we're going to see this team make moves. I think it'll happen. And when it does, I'm expecting a more competitive Austin FC. Quakes, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
Would it be crazy to see Griezmann go down there?
If he went to Austin just for vibes, because, bro, I feel like Griezmann's like, by this point, half Mexican. If he goes to Austin for vibes, bro, I could see it. They would love him like the child they never had. 100%. 100%. Like he not going to Tigres, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like where his family doesn't even want to leave, Mexico City and whatnot. That's how I see Griezmann if he were to land in Austin. Just orale way, just the whole nine, bro. Every
for sure.
100%.
Minnesota versus LAFC. Minnesota's at home.
Ooh, this is a trap game. This is a trap game right here.
It's a trap game for who though?
Give me Minnesota. Give me Minnesota.
That's what I'm saying. For LA, it's a trap game, I think.
What's the weather like? Hold on. What's the weather like? Hold on.
Much better than LAFC this season, so that's why I was saying.
But it's 3 games in. People still look at LAFC, Honda, like Boanga, Tillman, Bogusz, Ilie. They Hugo Lloris. They still see all of these stars, and I just think that Pookie's about to, no pun intended, shit all over that. I don't know, man. I think that there's strong trap game opportunity.
It's gonna be cold. They're gonna be.
Don't get me wrong. I still see Minnesota winning, but that's the thing, right? Like Minnesota's just been better, and without the coach barely coming in, less named players, right? You got to think like it could be a trap game for Minnesota as well too, because LAFC can just turn it up out of nowhere.
Listen, I'm taking Minnesota. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold, Like...
Give me a draw.
Hey, if it's a snow game, 3-0. Let's go.
Again.
This one's tough, man. If it is a snow game, yeah. I mean, I don't see LAFC surviving this. What was the temperature again?
Was the temperature? It's gonna be 43 degrees.
Ooh, it's cold for LA.
Cold
for LA peeps. Damn, give me Minnesota, bro. Give me Minnesota.
Yeah.
That could be a draw. That's what I was teetering on. But
you see what I'm kind of saying, right?
Yeah.
The odd went out again, man.
You pick LAFC?
No, I put a draw.
Okay. See, that's like the logical one for me. But I really want to see Minnesota.
Listen, but
continue to upset LAFC.
In comparison to last week, we didn't really see that many 0-0 draws. This
no, there was a couple. There's a couple.
No.
There was one draw. There was one 0-0 draw. Or two.
We had Cincy, DC, LAFC, SKC.
Which I didn't even want to talk about them because it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
No. They're not really much to talk about.
The game had chances. That game did have chances, but it was just nobody took advantage.
So who we got next?
Okay, Nashville versus Charlotte.
Whoa. That's like such an unappealing game, bro.
Nashville, in Nashville, Jonas Park.
Yeah, no, it's in Nashville. Yeah, in Nashville.
I back Nashville. I honestly, if they bottle another lead in this game, I am done sticking up
midweek
defending them.
So are you willing to go to my side and finally admit that Nashville's a bit overrated?
I don't see. This is the thing. I think everybody says that. I never really rate Nashville like that. Like they're not a bad team. I've always seen them as like solid. You can't ignore the fact that they're one of the best defensive teams. In
okay,
all
but in the
100%.
consensus of what is like in MLS as a whole, a lot of people rate them. So that's fair.
They rate Henny Mukhtar, and I rate Henny Mukhtar too. I also think that I thought he was always the one piece. They've added things to that since then, But bro, defense. There's a reason the saying is defense wins championships. You can never count out the best defensive team in any league. You just can't.
Yeah, but you know what? Because they're playing midweek and they're gonna want to go prove something against Miami. Because imagine they knock them out. Imagine they knock them out,
bro. If they did, which that won't happen, but if they did, if they did, that would be wild, and I would back Nashville a little bit more. I agree with you. I'm just saying, like right now,
it's 50 years old, but it's
I think they're accurately rated. I think they're accurately rated.
I think that right now the schedule and how much they're lacking up front and how much they're gonna need to rest Mukhtar as he's still coming back in. Man, this is. I want to say a draw, but I also feel like Charlotte can edge it out, like off a corner, off of something.
Nashville didn't score anything.
Look at what Nashville did to LA Galaxy in the first half, or not even the first half, the second half, because that's when they scored.
You know what? Give me a draw. I just think it's tough coming out of midweek.
Yes, it is. I agree with you wholeheartedly. The one thing I was going to say was that they're building momentum. First two games didn't score any goals, then back-to-back games of 2 goals apiece. I think that you start building on that and snowballs.
But think about it this way: 2 of those goals one of those goals in each game was a penalty kick for Burnbury.
Fair,
yeah.
Still a goal though.
Yeah,
like when you go from 20-0, Austin FC would take PKs all day right now. They would gladly welcome penalty kicks.
I would love a penalty kick personally.
Seattle has yet to score a goal in regular play. De La Vega is the only guy who scored a goal and it was a penalty kick. So like, actually, I don't think it's inherently bad. It's just like
Orlando scored our first 2 goals of open play last game. So to be fair, I'd take a penalty kick myself.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Dallas can't get a PK to save their fucking lives, bro. I don't know what happens. I mean, we could fall right in front of the referee, nothing changes, but we can't buy a penalty kick right now. But
keep Galaxy away from PKs though. Like,
bro, I don't know how you guys got so many. We can't get one. Like, we can't get a single one. Like, I'm begging for a PK to get called, and nothing. They could trip Musa, they could push him in the back. None of that shit matters. But anyway, different talk another day.
Orlando is so clinical at pens, we don't get shit. Anyway,
give me Nashville.
You picking Nashville? I'm continuing my hatred. I'm continuing the hate train. We go Charlotte. Come on,
Charlotte.
I mean,
Dean Smith smiling somewhere right now.
Maybe
Dean Smith to prove John wrong. Galaxy, St. Louis.
This has banger potential written all over.
In Galaxy, in LA.
This has banger potential written all over.
I agree. I think
this could be game of the week. This could be game of the week.
Clash of attacking.
It should. I mean, that's what DC and Cincy should have been, but that completely fell on its face.
You know what? I feel like this is Galaxy's one-off. I think I'm taking Galaxy. Give me Galaxy.
I'm kind of scared, man. I can't lie. Like, Galaxy, if they performed how they performed against Nashville, I mean, they did get the goals granted, and they were about to win, but still, you got to keep the momentum going from how you started. I'm still going to take Galaxy, obviously, but yeah, it's going to be more difficult than people think.
Yeah, this one, I'm going to take, it's got strong banger potential, bro. I think I'm going to take LAG. I think I have to, I feel like, because they haven't given me a reason not to believe in them at home. And I feel like also, I will say this, the LA crowd's turning up now outside of El Tráfico, which is massive. So, but I would not be surprised, boys, surprised to see some weird result here. I'm just hoping there's goals. Just a lot of goals.
St. Louis 1-0, that would be weird.
It'd be weird. I'm backing Galaxy, but yeah. It could be a 2-2 like Austin, to be honest. Like a 2-2 draw.
Yeah,
that's the kind of vibe. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting from this game. Pretty decently scoring draw. Like, I don't know what it is about St. Louis.
Yeah, they're never out of a game. I think they will see us all. They'll take a step back from last year. They have to. There's no way they replicate what they did last season. But
yeah,
I think that they're not going to be a bad team. Like, every team should still be scared to play against St. Louis.
Yeah. So now we have New England versus FC Cincinnati in New England.
Ooh.
Give me Cincy, bro. I don't. Give me Cincy. Give me New England. I mean, not the New England. Give me Cincy. My bad.
You're losing it right now, dude.
Yeah, I'm losing it because how bad that team is.
All right. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to see something here.
Cincy tied with DC 0-0.
Actually, I also want to see something.
They beat Chicago, but they didn't even look that good either. That's the thing as well too. I know New England is fucking garbage, like hot garbage. Right now.
Come on, just back me on this, bro. Come on.
Because, man, like this.
You know what? I mean, this
Nah,
gives me like from
23 shots.
like from statistics point of view, right? This looks like another 0-0, but I don't want that shit to happen again. I really don't.
I'll be honest, I'm right there with Honda. I'm going to say draw, and I'm going to say 0-0 if I had to put a score line on it. This is going to be one of those games that just is not going to be that fun to watch, if we're being honest, boys.
Yeah, I'm not
Like,
turning
it
that game
could
on.
be fun to watch, but if the teams go out there and actually perform how they should.
Listen, if Apple TV notifies me that this score is like this game is 2-2, like 3-2, I'm gonna be pissed. But no, give me.
I just don't see it. I don't know. If New England scores, it'll be a moment of brilliance from Carlos Heel, and then if they don't, and Cincinnati scores, kind of the same thing. Maybe Lucho gets it, maybe Bupenza gets it, but like maybe Corey Bear comes off the bench and changes something up for them. But I think we're banking on individual brilliance versus like the teams just getting goals.
No, I think something that we haven't really thought of is mistakes. I think New England's going to make a mistake and give Cincinnati a goal. Or pretty early on.
It definitely could. It definitely could. I mean, New England has not been anything worth watching so far this season. So
yeah, you know what? Give me Cincy. It might be like just the mistakes that screw over New England. So give me Cincy. Like
they've already let up 8 goals so far.
I really see a draw, but I also see myself getting jinxed. So
yeah. Hey, fun fact, boys. Fun fact. The only 2 teams to have given up at least 8 goals in the Eastern Conference so far this season, the Revs and Orlando City.
Thank you. Thank you.
No other team in the East has given up more.
Hey, John, there you go.
I love the irony of the fact that we had a 0-0 draw and then we've lost 5-0 and then we shipped 3 goals. So it's we got from down here, then we went up here, and now we're getting better. So next week maybe we might concede 2 goals. So
yeah, maybe.
Talking actually, you picked draw, right, Jose?
I did.
So talking about that, now we have the best attacking team in the league last season, pretty much, behind Columbus, versus my team, who shipped one of the most goals in the league. So I'm so excited to see that Schlegel's going to start this game, and that we concede 8 goals. So
Yakumakis hat trick, dunking on Orlando.
Fuck you.
Give me.
I got a feeling AJ on Wake Up MLS is going to have a field day with this one. Yeah, bro. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest. It's at the Mercedes-Benz, you said, right?
Yeah.
Bro, this is, I mean, he's going to put the proverbial penis on the table for everybody to see. I think it's going to be yeah, bro. I think it's going to be like a 3-1-4-1. It might be a repeat of the Revs game. I think you guys get a goal, maybe 2, maybe like a 4-2.
That's so generous.
I actually think Orlando City has just like, again, an animal waiting to be released out of its cage offensively. I have nothing to say about your defensive mistakes. 8 goals is not a fluke to me. That says something there. But
a lot of that has to be attributed to Rodrigo Schlegel too, because like the main thing that Pareja's talking about right now is the difference between having David Brekalo in the team compared to having Rodrigo Schlegel. Like Janssen and Brekalo, if you watch the Tigres game in Champions League, and you can ask all the Orlando fans, we see like a big difference in that defense between having Janssen and Schlegel and Janssen and Brekalo. That defense looks practically impenetrable with Brekalo in there. He is an amazing player.
Bro, it's crazy. Orlando and the Revs have let up 8 goals. No other team comes close. Except maybe the Quakes, where they're at 7. Bro, this is wild. Like I mean, 2-7 is the split on 4 versus against for the Quakes. Revs are 2-8, and Orlando is 2-8. That's tough. In terms of goals scored versus goals conceded.
So, Honda, what are you thinking?
So Schlegel is playing this game, right?
I don't know.
I
couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you because we're playing in Monterrey, and it depends what Brekalo's fitness is looking like, because for the past few weeks his fitness hasn't been the best. But who knows? Maybe the fact that we've given him limited minutes playing against Tigres, and then we didn't play him against Miami, and we I'm not even sure. I don't think we even played him against Cavalry. So he might be enough fitness to be able to play back-to-back games.
If Schlegel plays this game, Yakumakis is dunking on their heads. But if not, I could even see an Orlando win. But I'm going to go with Atlanta United.
Thank you. Okay, I guess I'm going to be the odd one out again. I'm backing my team because I feel like
You have to. You have to. You have to. You can't be like me. Like when you play a team like Columbus, then you can be like me. Hey, you know what? Accept defeat.
I do.
Nah, John. That's
you pick draw. You pick draw. You didn't. Pick,
I picked draw, and then I backpedaled on the other one, and I said loss.
You can't be doing that.
I thought about it. Listen.
Classic John Rivera. Classic John
I had
Rivera.
to
Classic
sleep
John
on
Rivera,
it.
bro.
The pillow kind of talked to me. It said, you know what?
Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was.
I gotta play the Pill's got to talk to him a lot this season, boys.
Hey, that pillow was warm. I can tell you that.
To really quickly back my team just a little bit more, I do feel like our defense, like at the start of the season, I think this is a fluke. I think Gillespie, the pillow is gonna talk to him too. I think it's gonna be like 8 goals in his sleep, and he's gonna wake up and he's gonna feel a lot better.
You're sounding like me, dude. You're sounding like
me. Gillespie is not a bad goalkeeper. He's honestly.
Let him be optimistic, bro. Nobody fucked with you whenever you were on the side from week 1. All right, nobody said.
Mr. Oh, I think Chris Mueller's a very good player. Just let me be happy with my Copa America finalist who knocked Uruguay out on a penalty shootout. But Gaga Slonina is better. Okay, buddy.
He is.
So
who's playing in Europe? I thought so.
I think
in Europe.
He's not playing in Europe.
Yes, he is. He's playing in Belgium. He's playing.
Oh, yeah. A La Liga team was looking at Gillespie, so you can hold that.
I was going to ask, is he actually playing? But okay, he's playing. Yeah. That's fair.
But I do feel like our defense will get better. I think those 8 goals was a fluke in a way, just because of our CCL schedule that's been so painful. I know we do have Tigres, but I also do feel like our rotation, our depth in attack is good enough for us to get a good result in Atlanta, just because I don't trust Atlanta's defense as much as I do like Montreal or Minnesota that we just played.
Fair enough.
You don't trust Atlanta's defense?
They had a bad defense last season, but I haven't really seen too much of them this year. So I can't really put my balls in saying, "Oh yeah, Atlanta's going to shut us out."
I mean, they've been. Offensively, or defensively. Sorry, they've gotten scored on. They only played 2 games, right? So they've been scored on twice, one in each game. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about them yet. I didn't see them a lot last season. There's a lot of high scoring games with them. So their defense wasn't great. But I think didn't they sure up the midfield position?
No, they did. Yeah,
that I think 100%. Was like the major cause for teams just being able to cut through them. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I feel like those players also need some time to click as well, just like Orlando and.
I think Atlanta will be fine. Honestly, I think Atlanta will be fine. But anyway,
I'm gonna take the ATL to win.
To wrap this up quick, because again, we went live for a minute, by the way.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up quick, again, I feel like a lot of these games for this week, my personal game of the week is gonna be, I'm giving it to the Galaxy St. Louis game. That's gonna be my game of the week. I
think I agree with that.
All right, I agree.
Yeah,
Minnesota, LA. Actually, I think I like Minnesota, LA. It's game of the week.
I think
the Galaxy game is bigger for me, but yeah.
Snooze Fest of the week.
Montreal. That's my game of the week. I want to see. I want to see
Montreal. Hey.
I want to see that Montreal jersey.
If it's done right, boys, trust me. If it's done right, that will not be Snooze Fest of the week. That will be karma wrapped up in a nice little 90-minute package for us, bro.
Listen, what the Fire need to do is they need to start signing me up because I'm getting people to watch them. That's what they need to do.
Oh, that's what it is.
Anyway, this has been episode what? We're on 4, right? Episode 4. I think we're on. Yeah, so this has been episode 4. It's been a interesting one. I think we all coming out of this episode with a lot of fire. A lot of hate towards me, which is fine.
Towards one team.
I'm a big boy. I can take it. Anything that anyone in the chat have any comments? I'll give you guys like a minute or two. If not, we'll wrap it up. So again,
I want to
feel
say
like
this about comments. Like come here now. This is Montreal's league now. Bro, relax. Like calm down. Go touch grass for a little bit. I think that this is
this comment is crazy.
this
by
is
the
a
way.
wild
Yeah.
take. I look, bro. There's no part of this league that belongs to Montreal yet. Like you have to play more than 3 games to earn that title. But like, great, fantastic start.
That's a crazy take.
Right now people are saying I'm like, oh, he's back in Montreal. I just think that certain teams get slept on hard, and I love it when they come across and slap reality across a fan's face. I'm hoping that happens this week with John. So we'll see what happens.
Listen. They're also tipping Miami to bounce back. So we'll see. We'll see about that. But anyway, that is the end of this episode. So again, we are normally live on Twitch, over on Twitch at 8:00 Central every single Monday. But from us here, it's been a good one. I'll see you guys later.